Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Dwi Latifah. I'm from the group 5, and this occasion I with two friends. Melastri Parhusip, the first presenter, Nur Asmawiani, the second presenter, and I as the last presenter. Okay, let me the first presenter, Melastri Parhusip.
The first material about definition of assessment. Assessment to determine the development of progress of student learning. It is necessary to conduct an assessment of learning outcomes that have been carried out both through tests and non-tests. And the next types of assessment. 1. Cognitive assessment. Cognitive assessment, the mind is determined that including mental or brain activity. The cognitive domain is related to ability to think, including the ability to memorize, understand, apply, analyze, synthesize, and evaluate skill. 2. Affective assessment. Affective assessment competency to be active in learning, including the level of response, apprehension, assessment, and internalization. Various types of affective domain level that are assisted are student ability in A. Provide a response or reaction to the evaluation to student. B. Enjoy or accept followed norm and object that have ethical and aesthetic values. C. Assessing or following in the term of good or bad, fair and unfair, beautiful and not beautiful, or the object of study. And D. Apply norm, technique, and aesthetic in the behavior of daily life. Assessment also needs to be done on affective interest, motivation, perseverance in learning, and student attitude towards certain subject and the learning process. 3. Psychomotoric assessment. Definition of psychomotoric is a domain including movement, behavior, and physical coordination, motor skill, and physical ability of a person skill that will develop if often practiced can be measured based on distance, speed, accuracy, technique, and method or of excitation. The psychomotoric domain is related to learning outcomes that are achieved through manipulation skill and implementation and physical strength. The next material from Mbak Nur.
Let me introduce myself. My name is Nur Asmawianti. I'm from Group 5. In this opportunity, I would like to present about types and how to analyze evaluation results. Definition of analysis of evaluation results. Analysis is a process to find out the information that has been collected. Analysis includes managing the data that has been collected to determine the conclusion that the data supports, how much it supports, and how much it doesn't support. The purpose of the analysis to make abbreviation from the data and conclude the message in it as information that can be used as an alternative basis for making a decision. Evaluation results are a very important and very neat subsystem in every education system, because evaluation can reflect how far the developments or progress of the educational outcomes. Analysis of evaluation results is data received from the file in the form of test or non-test, then processed by determining scores, scoring system, and using scales. Process of analyzing evaluation consists of preparation, implementation, and reporting. Analysis of problem difficulty level. Understanding difficulty level. The difficulty level of a question is the proposition or present text of subject who answer certain test items correctly. The level of difficulty of the question is seen from the ability of students to answer, not from the point of view of the teacher as a question maker. An important issue in analyzing the level of difficulty of the question is the determination of the proposition and criteria for questions which are easy, medium, and difficult. And the next, basic consideration of problem difficulty. There is a balance, the proportion of the number of questions. Absorbability analysis, understanding absorbency analysis. Students' absorption analysis is a form of mathematics that can calculate the amounts of time students spend studying a subject and compares the data with the average length of time students spend studying in their schools. Students' absorption is students who have all kinds of character and student attitude. The absorption of student learning is the ability of student to learn what is taught, read, heard, and learns.
Okay, I'm Yuen Latifah, the last presenter. Absorption, analyze requirements. There are requirements to be complete individually as well as classically if the student absorption of the KKM is equal to or greater than 85%. Then it is classically complete if the absorption has not reached 85%, then classically if has not been complete. From of student absorption analysis, test NICU, personality test, attitude test, intelligence test, and the other. Jadi, maksudnya adalah analisis daya serap. Jadi, analisis daya serap adalah matematika yang memperhitungkan atau memberikan sebuah data seberapa banyak waktu yang dihabiskan oleh siswa untuk menyerap sebuah pembelajaran dari guru. Nah, jadi kita sudah mempersiapkan data terdahulu dengan data yang terbaru. Jadi kita bandingkan apabila daya serap terbaru yang dihabiskan itu lebih cepat, maka lebih cepat dari yang terdahulu, maka siswa tersebut dapat dikatakan daya serapnya meningkat. Jadi seperti itu. Nah, di sini juga ada persyaratan analisis daya serap. Nah, untuk siswa itu sendiri ada persyaratan untuk tuntas secara individual maupun secara klasikal. Jadi, biasanya itu dalam sebuah analisis daya serap itu terdapat sebuah KKM apabila siswa telah mampu sama dengan KKM atau lebih tinggi dari KKM tersebut, contohnya seperti 85%, maka daya serapnya bisa disebut tuntas dan lanjut ke proses pengayaan. Namun apabila siswa tersebut belum mencapai KKM, maka itu bisa dinyatakan belum tuntas dan harus menyelesaikan remedial, yaitu kegiatan atau pembelajaran yang membantu untuk mendukung siswa agar tuntas dalam pembelajaran tersebut. Okay, the next, analyze of completeness learning. Okay, complete learning is a pattern of competence-based learning that use the principle of mastery individually against all competence standard and basic competence after the learning process is carried out. Then an assessment of learning outcomes is held to measure the level of achievement of student learning outcome and improving the learning process. Nah, jadi ketuntasan belajar maksudnya adalah pola pembelajaran berbasis kompetensi yang menggunakan prinsip berbasis kompetensi yang menggunakan prinsip ketuntasan secara individual terhadap seluruh standar kompetensi maupun kompetensi dasar. Nah, jadi maksudnya setelah proses pembelajaran itu ada proses penilaian dan disitulah guru mengukur siswa dan mengetahui apakah dia sudah mampu menyerap atau belum. Nah, sudah tuntas atau belum, jadi seperti itu. Jadi penilaian tersebut adalah alat untuk mengukur tingkat pencapaian kompetensi peserta didik, serta digunakan sebagai bahan penyusun laporan kemajuan hasil belajar dan memperbaiki proses pembelajaran. Nah, perbaikan proses pembelajaran tersebut disebut dengan remedial. Jadi, untuk ketuntasan belajar itu sendiri, apabila siswa tuntas dalam belajar, maka lanjut ke proses pengayaan. Pengayaan itu apa? Yaitu aktivitas untuk memperluas pengetahuan siswa. Dan apabila siswa itu tidak tuntas atau belum mencapai KKM, maka selanjutnya harus mengikuti remedial. Remedial yaitu artinya guru memberikan pembelajaran ulang kepada siswa agar mampu mencukupi KKM atau mencukupi ketuntasan belajar yang sudah ditetapkan oleh KD. Nah, jadi apa sih perbedaan pengayaan dengan remedial? Jadi pengayaan itu adalah sebuah pembelajaran yang dimana di titik terakhir itu tidak diambil penilaian, karena pengayaan itu kan memang untuk siswa yang sudah tuntas belajarnya, jadi tidak diambil penilaiannya karena sekedar memperluas pengetahuan. Beda dengan remedial yang berfungsi untuk memberi sebuah solusi kepada siswa agar mampu mencapai KKM dan nilainya mencukupi. Jadi seperti itu. Jadi titik terakhir remedial itu diambil sebuah penilaian. Nah, apabila ketuntasan belajar siswa itu cukup, berarti remedialnya juga berhasil dan bisa menjadi jalan untuk siswa tersebut memahami pembelajaran yang diberikan oleh guru. Nah, mungkin cukup sekian materi dari saya. Terima kasih.